And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you are all well. There's a lot to go through in today's video with transfer news. A lot's happened in the last 24 hours since we last updated you on this channel. I want to start today, before we get into the main story, about a first team player that's been banished from the pre-season squad. It's quite an interesting story, that one. I want to talk about Matt O'Reilly quickly because, of course, he's a player that's been linked to multiple clubs this summer transfer window. A lot of teams are showing interest in Matt O'Reilly. Of course, in January, Atletico Madrid put a bid in for him, which Celtic rejected. And yesterday, it was reported that another team has put an official bid in for Matt O'Reilly that has since been rejected by the club. And that is Europa League winners Atalanta, who formally entered the race to sign the Celtic 23-year-old midfielder Matt O'Reilly. The Italian club has submitted their first bid, setting the stage for what could be a competitive of negotiations. Now, I've seen a few articles and a few reports say that their initial bid was laughable. Therefore, of course, Celtic rejected it. There's no actual figure of what they put in for him, but it must have been under £20 million if Celtic described it as laughable, or reports said that Celtic described it as laughable. Of course, we value him closer to £25 to £30 million if you were looking to sell him. I think closer to £30 million should be the bare minimum, really, to let Matt O'Reilly go. But Atalanta is just another team with a whole host of other clubs that are interested in his services now. So really, if we wanted to, we could have a little bidding war going on for Matt O'Reilly. Therefore, the price could increase, and whoever wants to pay the most for him can get him. Of course, my ideal scenario as a Celtic fan would be to keep him at the club. Money doesn't really mean much to me, of course, especially if you don't spend it in the right areas of the pitch. So I'd rather keep him at the club. But it could be good in terms of generating a lot of income for Celtic if we could get the teams into a bidding war for Matt O'Reilly, and then the highest bidder wins, of course. And you could be looking at a higher transfer fee than the £25–30 million that's been mentioned before. So as far as one of the teams that are interested are the likes of AC Milan in Italy, Atalanta, of course, now who just put a bid in for him. Atletico Madrid is still sniffing around him as well. And Southampton, Leicester City, a few Premier League clubs like that. Now, I spoke previously about Matt O'Reilly and what I would do if I was him. Of course, I'm sure I'd probably stay at Celtic, but the teams that are interested in him, I would look at maybe AC Milan or Atletico Madrid. The Premier League teams wouldn't really suit my interest. I think Leicester City and Southampton aren't great moves for him. Yes, they can probably pay the most out of all the clubs that are there and offer him contracts. But I think his ambitious career, he probably wants to go to somewhere in Italy or Spain to get the best out of his career and play at the top end of his game in the Champions League. Of course, he can do that at Celtic as well. That is something that we can offer him, European football. So we'll see what he decides to do with his future in the next few days or so. But yeah, this came out literally about an hour after I posted yesterday's video, so I wanted to discuss it quickly. I was actually working when the time it came out. But yeah, Matt O'Reilly, there's a lot of interest in him, and there'll be a lot more interest coming his way as well in the next few weeks of this transfer window for sure. That's guaranteed, near enough. But let's get into the main story of today's video. So Celtic midfielder is banished from the first team by Brendan Rodgers. Now, Celtic midfielder Daniel Kelly appears to be on his way out of the club after declining a new contract offer, a decision that could see him excluded from the first team pre-season plans. The 18-year-old, whose contract expires in January, is now free to discuss terms with other clubs. So Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers commented on the situation, saying, "There's no impulse as Daniel. He has been offered a new deal which is valued, and with the greatest respect, I've worked with young players, and I know the levels of young players and where they're at from a technical perspective and a financial perspective. Both those boys have been offered deals by the club." So Kelly's refusal to sign a new contract at Celtic follows the other youngster, Roccavati, who recently joined Watford this transfer window. And of course, we received a very low compensation fee for him because his contract was up. And it's leaving a lot of Celtic fans concerned about our ability to retain emerging talents at the club. Of course, we spoke about the pathways of the first team so many times. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I think a lot of these youngsters don't really feel like there's a way to get into the first team on a regular basis, which is quite concerning, and hopefully that can change. Of course, apparently he's contracted until January. That's when his contract runs out, so he's still at the club for the next few months or so, the next 5 months. And hopefully in that time he can persuade him otherwise. But it seems like he will be banished out of the squad until he decides his future. So Rodgers confirmed the situation again by saying, I spoke with the agents and the player some months back to say, listen, if we can't tidy this up by the summer, then it's very hard to be with the team in pre-season. It's as simple as that. So the allure of opportunities elsewhere and perhaps more favourable terms could see Kelly follow Varta's footsteps, seeking greener pastures beyond Celtic. So this is very frustrating again. I mean, Daniel Kelly, he's highly rated in the Celtic space. I think a lot of fans were kind of interested to see what he could do with his career at the club. But he looks like he could be another player that could leave and go somewhere else to try and find those first-team opportunities, which really is annoying. And it's quite a brutal thing for Rodgers to kind of leave him out of the first-team setup if he's not going to sign a new contract. I kind of like it. It's quite good to have that bit of authority there and be like, look, we're offering you a fair deal here. If you can't accept that, then you're not going to get these first-team opportunities. So, either sign the contract, which we think is fair for you, right where you're at right now in your career, or go somewhere else and sit on the bench or sit in the reserves until January. The choice is yours, pretty much, which is quite brutal, but it's quite cool as well to see that we are kind of putting our foot down on that situation, not going to be taken for mugs. So you can leave if you want to leave in January, you can stay if you want to stay, but this will all kind of come to its conclusion in January. Maybe something might happen between now and then. Maybe he will sign a new deal or something like that, but we'll have to wait and see with regards to that. So that is pretty much everything we have to discuss in today's video. Of course, the Matt O'Reilly situation, that will keep heating up. I'm sure there'll be more teams coming in for him, but that bid has been rejected by Celtic for now from Atalanta due to the bid being laughable, apparently. So where do you think he should go this summer transfer window? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video, guys. As always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Quickly as well, we are getting closer and closer to 8,000 subscribers. So if you are a regular who watches these videos and you're not yet subscribed, it would be greatly appreciated if you could help us reach that mini milestone, because we are getting pretty close to that target right now. So yeah. Also, we have a Celtic clothing store online called celticapparel.com. The link's always in the description. Check out some of our merch that we sell. Some pretty good tees there as well. Drop a like, subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.